I'm going to jump right in because I have a lot of stuff to go over. I am Danay Escanaverino. I am the founder of Latina Meetup, and I am going to talk about how I get targeted leads on LinkedIn. So we're going to jump right in because, like I said, I have a lot of stuff to go over. Can you see my next slide there?
Yes.
Okay, great. So who am I? I am the CEO of Lunasol Media, which is a digital agency that connects brands to multicultural consumers. And I'm also the founder of Latina Meetup. So I want to welcome you. I hope you're having a wonderful time at this event. Latina Meetup is a community that celebrates, elevates, and connects Latina professionals in an effort to build our wealth and influence as a community. And most importantly, and this is why I think you should listen to what I have to say, is I'm a practitioner. I use LinkedIn daily to generate results. I'm not a guru. I'm not trying to sell you an ebook. This is what I do every day to get results for my business. And I've been using LinkedIn for so long that my actual address on LinkedIn is my first name. So that should tell you I've been doing this for a really long time. So here are the steps that I focus on, and this is very important. You have to do the first step because all of the other steps are based on it. And so the first thing you want to do is you want to define your goals. If you don't define your goals, you're going to be using the spaghetti method, you know, where you throw spaghetti against the wall and you see what sticks, and that's not going to give you any results. It's not going to give you what you need, which are targeted leads and sales that come from those leads. And so you need to define your goals. 99% of LinkedIn users are not doing this. They're doing the spaghetti method. Number two, you want to optimize your profile. Then you want to work on your search strategy based on your goals. You're optimizing your profile based on your goals. And then you're going to engage and give based on those goals. And lastly, you're going to connect based on those goals. And by the way, if you're taking notes, that's great. However, since I'm going so fast, I will gladly send you guys this presentation, the slide presentation after the presentation is finished, and I'll show you how to get it. Okay, so step one, define your goals. Well, who do you want to reach and what do you want from them? Those are the two questions that you need to answer to define your goals. For example, let's say I created this app that streamlines the appointment making process for dentists, right? And we're planning to launch our first market in New York City. And so who do I want to reach? I want to reach dentists who serve the New York City market. What do I want from them? I want to sell them an app that streamlines their appointment process in our first market, New York City. You want to set up a campaign that defines those two goals, that answers those two questions. For example, for me, let's say I have a campaign for Latina Meetup. I want to partner with brands that can extend resources and opportunities to the Latina Meetup community. So my who do I want to reach would be brands who help Hispanics and Latino consumers already. And number two, what do I want from them? I'll want partnerships from them. I want them to extend their resources and opportunities to my community. And so I want to figure out how we can work together to do that. So again, define your goals. Who do you want to reach? What do you want from them? Once you have those things stated, everything is based off of that. Everything works off of that. Again, don't use the spaghetti method. You use the spaghetti method, you go out there, you post 20 million things, you contact a bunch of people, you search for all kinds of stuff, and you really, really don't get results because everybody else is doing the same thing. Everybody else is going crazy on LinkedIn trying to connect, spamming people and yada, yada, yada. It's not going to work. All right, step two, you want to optimize your profile. And there are a ton of things that you can do on your profile. The profile has a bunch of features, right? We could literally spend 2 hours going over every single thing in your profile that you want to optimize. But for the purposes of this specific type of targeting, all you really need to focus on are the above the fold section and hiding your competition. Above the fold, you want to stand out with your photos, stand out with specific text, and talk to your prospect. And then you want to hide the competition. How do you do that? Well, let's talk about the above the fold section. The above the fold section is usually what you see before you need to scroll down to the bottom of your screen or to see any more information. And for LinkedIn, the above the fold consists of the banner, the headshot, and the headline. So your banner is that background image, right? Number one, you want to show what you do that you want your prospect to know, keeping in mind your goal, who you want to reach, and what you want from them. And number two, you want to show any type of thought leadership that you can. So for me, I want to show that I'm speaking because I can connect with opportunities to speak about Latina Meetup's mission. And number two, speaking also conveys thought leadership, which helps me make an impression when I want to reach specific people who manage the marketing for the brands, or sometimes it's the person who manages the diversity initiatives for that brand. And so that really, really helps me to show them that I'm somebody that they want to be connected with. For your headshot, you want it to be professional, you want to be smiling, right? And you want to stand out. Please do not do what I've seen so many people doing, which is like an image of your whole body or an image of you standing in the woods or like a brooding image of you're a creative director. You're looking for leads. You're looking for people to connect with, and you want to show them that you're approachable, that you're easy to deal with. And so you have to be smiling and it has to be a professional shot. Also, you want to stand out, right? If you're showing up in search results, if you're showing up in their alerts, if you're showing up in their recently viewed list, if you're showing up in their comments, their likes, they're more likely to look at your profile picture because it stands out. How do you stand out? You either put a ring around your image or you use a bright background. And those are easy things you can do. You can use apps like Canva to modify your headshot. They're free. And like I said, it takes 5 minutes to do that. It makes a huge, huge difference because the eye will go to what stands out and what's different. Your headline. So your headline is going to do 4 things. You're going to talk about who you help, how you help them. And again, this is with those goals in mind, right? And you want to use keywords and you want to stand out again. So who you help. Let me read my current headline. I'm a multicultural marketing growth hacker for brands who want to reach Latinx consumers. I'm also founder of Latina Meetup, and I'm also a speaker. So number one, who do you help? I help brands who want to reach Latinx consumers. How do I help? I am a growth hacker. And what keywords am I using? Well, I'm using 2 main keywords here. I'm using multicultural marketing and I'm using Latinx consumers. And the reason I'm using those 2 keywords are because multicultural marketing is an industry adopted umbrella term for Hispanic marketing, Latino marketing, Latinx marketing. So I definitely want to make sure that I show up for those 2 search terms. And most importantly, the people that I want to connect with, that I want to sell to, are people in the multicultural marketing industry. So that's a term that is important to them and that's a term that they recognize. And I use Latinx consumers because Latinx is a newer term that's starting to become adopted as well by marketers who are trying to better understand the consumers they want to reach. So what I'm doing is, whether or not I agree with Latinx or whether or not I think it's a term that should be used in marketing or whether or not I identify as that doesn't matter. What matters is the people that I want to connect with think that that's an important term. So that's why I put those keywords in my description. And you want to stand out, which is why I have those 2 little stars. I don't want to put in 20 different, types of smileys or anything like that, but I definitely want something, again, that draws their eye to the information that I want them to see. And here's a hack. On your PC, you have 120 characters that you can use to update your headline. If you download the LinkedIn app, you can use up to 240 characters. So if you have a lot more to say and you want to use more characters and you don't want to be limited by 120, just download the app and update that headline on your phone. Okay, now that we've gone over the above the fold section, what about our competition? Would you send your prospects to your competition as soon as you met them? I wouldn't get on a phone call with somebody and say, hey, thanks for reaching out. Let me give you the phone number of my competitors. You're welcome. Unfortunately, LinkedIn does that to you. So when you're on your profile, when somebody visits your profile, they're going to see that section that says people also view. And what that does is that basically, okay, sorry, I thought that somebody was chatting with me, but those are just the links. So what that does is that LinkedIn is telling you these are the people that have been searched for along with Danay Escanaverino. Those are the people that show up on search results. They will either be your colleagues from your company or they will be your competition. And so we don't want to give people access to our competition. That's just silly. So you can annihilate the competition on your results page by clicking on your headshot photo on the top right, choosing settings and privacy, and then you're going to navigate to site preferences. And there's a section that says viewers of this profile also viewed. By default, it's set to yes. You just want to turn that off to no. And that way, actual advertisements will show up and people will stay on your page and they won't become a victim of the shiny object syndrome and then go away from your profile and look at your competitors. There's no need to give them, there's no need to give people your competitors' information. Okay. Step number 3 is your search strategy. This is super, super important, right? So back to our goals. We want to identify the ideal prospect. We want to know what their title is, what their company is, what their location is. So think about who it is that you're trying to target, and then you're going to search for them. Okay, now you're not going to try to connect to these people. This is not what I'm showing you, but just bear with me, follow me here. So what you want to do is you want to search for a company, a person, or a title, or any combination of those. The important part of your search is you want to search for second-degree connections. A second-degree connection is someone that's connected to you and also connected to that person. And then you want to specify any other search filters like location. There are a bunch of search filters on LinkedIn. If you scroll down on the search screen, you can choose as many filters as you want. You can choose previous company. You can choose school that they graduated from. I mean, it's a ton of stuff. The more filters you have, the less results you'll get. The less filters you have, the more results you'll get. So if you have too few results, you just add more filters. You just remove filters. If you get too many results, just add more filters. Okay. So what happens is, let's say I searched for ABC company, right? And I searched for marketing director or VP of marketing. And I came up with the marketing director at that specific company that I really wanted to target, because again, I have a laser focused goal of the people that I want to work with. And so if you notice, that person has 11 mutual connections with me. And that's what I want to focus on. I am not going to reach out to this marketing director at ABC company yet, because if I reach out to her and it's a cold connection and I don't have anything really for her, I'm just one of, hundreds of people that are spamming her LinkedIn right now. That's not going to do me any good. That's a waste of my time. That's a waste of my resources. And time is money. So what I want to do is I want to have a targeted approach. So I am going to look for the people that we both have in common. And then once I find that person, right, let's say his name is Juan, I'm going to click on see all for his activity. I'm going to scroll down to the activity section on his profile. I'm going to click on see all. And then under Juan's activity, we have all activity, we have articles, we have posts, we have documents. I'm going to click on posts, and that's going to show me Juan's latest posts. And I'm going to engage with Juan's posts. And I'm going to be intentional about it, right? I'm going to engage with his posts. I'm going to engage with the comments from his other connections. He's going to see me. He's going to see my profile picture that stands out among others. But I'm going to engage with his content, and I'm going to stand out because a lot of people don't actually genuinely engage. A lot of people just go on LinkedIn, they throw out their posts, and they hope that people see it and give them likes. Sometimes they'll hope that they give them comments, but really 99% of people are just posting stuff. I will not waste time on hashtags, and I will not waste time on influencers, because my goal is to reach the marketing director at ABC Company. I have no time to waste on hashtags, because who knows what hashtags she follows, and nobody cares that I commented on Bill Gates' latest post, right? I don't care who commented on his posts. You probably don't care. So why spend your time commenting on influencers' posts? It's not going to get you to show up on any search results. It's not going to help you with the algorithm. It's just a complete and total waste of your time and effort. So none of that stuff. Instead, we're going to engage and we're going to give to that contact that I have in common with the person who is my target, who I want to reach. There's a reason. Okay, trust me, there's a very good reason for me doing this. So I go through Juan's content and I notice that he has some stuff that really relates to what I do. So I shared, I liked some of his stuff, I commented on a few posts, and I shared one of his posts, which really was quite an interesting post. It was really share worthy. What happened then is Juan thanked me for sharing his post. He says, muchísimas gracias por ayudarme, right? It created visibility to Juan. It created gratitude from Juan, and it opens a dialogue, right? And, you know, I was genuine. I don't have to be disingenuous just because I'm being intentional and focusing on my goals and my targets. This is actual stuff that I would have shared anyway. I'm just being intentional about who I'm sharing from. So please don't go share stuff that you would never in a million years share, because then it's just going to be obvious. And you don't need to. There's a ton of content. There are a ton of people, and you will definitely find someone that's going to have stuff that you can share from. You'll find several people that match this specific target, right? Or strategy. Okay. And so it pays off because, you know, he said, thank you. I said, absolutely, you know, and I haven't asked him for anything, right? So, and then he starts a dialogue with me and he says, por cierto, Danay, estaba viendo que eres la fundadora de Latina Meetup, de donde se te ocurrió. So he's asking me about Latina Meetup. He looked at me, clearly he looked at my profile and he looked at who I was and he wanted to learn more about me. And so what happened here is Juan and I actually created a dialogue. We created a relationship, and I even am now sending him business because he does something that some of my clients actually need. So it's actually turned into a really good relationship. I mean, this is what networking is all about. We just forget it because it's so easy to get online and post stuff and click on stuff that we forget there really is a strategy. There really is a point to the networking. So let's come back to Juan later. Okay, let's go now to our connections, right? So we finished our 4 other steps. Now we're at the connect step. And you can connect one of 2 ways. You can either connect through the LinkedIn connection method where you are directly trying to connect to one person, right? And that's great. You know, you can engage 2 to 5 times or so. And, you know, see if somebody that you try to connect with, they'll see you engaging with their content, and so they'll recognize you and hopefully they'll connect. Or you can connect via introductions, which is actually my absolute favorite way of connecting. Only after your connections have positive interactions with you should you do this, okay? So you either have engagements with them, or you have a previous relationship. It could have been a previous client, it could have been a previous colleague, but you have to have some type of connection with these people that you are going to ask for an introduction from. What about Juan? Juan is a happy connection of mine now. Juan knows the target person that I'm trying to reach out to, and Juan is grateful for his connection to me because I've been able to give without asking. Juan can introduce me to my target connection. How brilliant is that? So now that I know that Juan is somebody that will connect me to my target, right? How do I involve him? What do I do? How do I ask him? Well, You're asking someone for a favor. So you want to make it as easy as possible for them to do that favor for you. So I'm going to spoon feed him exactly what he needs to do me that favor. I'm going to make it so easy for him to help me that it's impossible for him to not help me, right? So I'm going to give Juan this message. I'm going to say, Juan, ¿cómo estás? I just noticed that you're connected to Jane Smith. Just made that name up. And I was hoping that you would kindly provide an introduction for me. If you could copy us both in an email or a LinkedIn message, I could take it from there. To make it easier for you, I have included a short note below that you're welcome to copy and paste. Also, feel free to let me know if I can help you or if there's anyone in my network that I can introduce you to. Mil gracias, Danay. And then the message that I give him that he can copy and paste will be, I would like to introduce you to Danay Escanaverino of Unidas Media and Latina Meetup. I thought it might make sense for the two of you to connect and figure out how you might work together. Danay is specifically looking for brand partnerships in the form of scholarships, sponsorships, and job opportunities for the Latina Meetup community. Danay will be contacting you in the next couple of days. Please take her call. I believe it will be well worth your time. All he has to do is copy and paste that. Generally, people will copy and paste it and get it over with. Some people will modify it a little bit, make it, sound more like their tone, right? So what did I do here? I did 3 really important things. Number 1, I asked for that specific introduction to that target person that I wanted to reach that is connected to me by Juan, who is very grateful to me. Number 2, I gave specific information in the sample. I'm telling him to please tell her Danay is specifically looking for brand partnerships in the form of scholarships, sponsorships, and job ops for the Latina Meetup community. And most importantly, anytime you're talking marketing, I gave a call to action, which was please take her call. Very, very important. This is not serendipity. This is not hocus pocus. This is not luck. It is working your network. It is focusing on your goals, and it is being intentional. And those things really get me results on LinkedIn. I have no problem getting tons of leads, tons of connections. Like Maritere is posting here. I get people that send me messages asking for something. They don't seem to care about connecting with me unless I become their client. Yeah, people are always doing the hard ask or the hard sell, and they're not engaging with people. They're not giving first. You always want to give first before you ask. And when you ask, you want to ask someone who's a connection already so that they can give you a recommendation to the person. So what's your commitment on LinkedIn? Well, first of all, this should be your most important platform if you're trying to do business. If you're trying to do business with other businesses, you want to be on LinkedIn. So it's going to give you more results than any of the other platforms. Your daily commitment can be about an hour. You spend 15 minutes searching, 30 minutes engaging, 15 minutes inviting. And then you definitely want to post a new post daily or every other day. And by the way, those can be shares from the people who are your connectors to your targets. And they can be things that have to do with the things that you're interested in. So you still can be intentional. You don't have to share stuff that you wouldn't normally share anyway. There's so much content on LinkedIn that it's not going to be a problem. So here are ways to grow your network so that you can have more people that'll connect you to your targets, right? Because that's the goal. You want to, if you're connecting with colleagues and competitors, you join LinkedIn groups that are part of your industry, because your competitors are going to be there and your colleagues are going to be there, right? And they're generally going to be a second-degree connection to one of your targets. You also want to find ways to connect to your targets. So you want to join their industry group. So like I was saying, if you're trying to connect with dentists, then you definitely want to join dentist industry groups so that you can have more people to connect to that'll connect you to second-degree connections. Connect with fellow group members. So once you're in the groups, you want to connect with those group members. You know, and again, it's going to be easier because you're not trying to give them a hard ask. You're not trying to give them a any type of sales pitch. You're just trying to connect with them. And that's it. Those are my golden nuggets. I promise you, if you put those into practice, you will get results. If you would like to receive this slide presentation, because I know I went really fast, I was trying to fit everything in 30 minutes, please feel free to email me at danay@lunasolmedia.com. And please do connect with me on LinkedIn. I am more than happy to make introductions.